Nobody likes the idea of being mortal. Therefore, it is only understandable that we push all thoughts of death and dying as far away from us as possible. But the fact is, death is not negotiable. It is the only thing in life that will affect every human being without exception. It makes no distinction between rich and poor, young and old, healthy or sick. At some point, it will be too late. So today we would like to introduce you to 9 things that dying people regret the most. If you like our videos, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Psychology in Mind, activate the little bell, and stay tuned for the videos we upload for you daily. Number 1. Their passions were not sufficiently cultivated. At the end of our life, it's not the days that count, but the life that filled our days. No matter then that on our deathbed we long for the time when we could still burn for one thing, and it completely captivated us. The things for which the fire of our soul blazes, makes our eyes glow at the mere thought of them, and our hearts burst with joy are our passions. Those who let them fall short deeply regret this neglect at the end of their lifespan. These people then know that they have far too often given preference to duty over freestyle. Living for responsibility honors us greatly, but in retrospect, it makes us neither happy nor satisfied. Seeing on our deathbed that our priorities were clearly the wrong ones is, unfortunately, a sad realization that haunts many people. Number 2. Too little commitment to others. The words could have, would have, should have probably accompany us constantly at the end of our lives. Regret is a profoundly human characteristic, but in the end, it no longer makes any difference. Those who realize too late that they could have done more for the weaker and helpless throughout their lives also deeply regret this omission. Often, donating money or supporting organizations might have been enough to mitigate this distinct lack that speaks so loudly on the deathbed, and as we all know, there is no need for money where we are going after that. Number 3. Neglecting your health and taking it for granted. No matter how old we are on the day we die, the idea that we could have done more for our health probably haunts us forever. Modern medicine can repair a great deal of the damage we have done to ourselves through an unhealthy lifestyle. But the suspicion remains, of course, that we ourselves are most to blame for the fact that it is now coming to an end. This realization is especially bitter for people who have spent their lives burning the candle at both ends at the same time and have taken their health for granted. We don't have to make a temple out of our body, but we should be mindful of it. We really can't influence health and illness 100%, but at least it seems reassuring at the end of our days when we ourselves are at least convinced that we have done our utmost. Number 4. Not appreciating life enough. The years pass, and suddenly we find ourselves on our deathbed. It is only then that most people realize that life for them was only a frantically fast passage that they were able to appreciate far too little. In retrospect, enjoying and marveling, consciously experiencing all the beautiful sides, and savoring all the possibilities came far too short for them. You can't make up for any of this, and certainly not when you're ill or on your deathbed. Number 5. Your dreams remain unfulfilled. Everyone has a dream. However, only very few people have the courage and strength, and sometimes the necessary dose of craziness, to turn their dreams into reality. We can only guess how many people who have earned their money throughout their lives with proper civilian jobs have secretly dreamed of a career as a singer, actor, DJ, or prima ballerina. Even emigrating to a faraway country or many adventurous journeys have taken place only in their minds. Unfortunately, our mental plan and our life plan only coincide very rarely. Our dreams remain with us, and at the end of life, they have become loyal friends, reminding us of many good things, but also of all that we have missed. Number 6. Never really risking anything. The phrase "no risk, no fun" seems to be indebted to youth mania in our lifetime, or an attitude that whistles at conventional life and lets people move on the edge of the abyss. But we end up regretting it if we have always played it safe. This includes not only real risks in the strict sense, but also things involving people, never having revealed our feelings, and never having confessed our true selves. When our days are numbered, it seems ridiculous and pathetic to have never really dared anything and played with full commitment. The need for security then shows its true face, a self-built prison. Number 7. Work, work, and more work. Only very few people have the pleasure of turning their hobby into a profession and their passion into a living. Most of us strictly separate these two sides. We work to earn money and finance our lives. That's where the high value of profession and career in our existence comes from. As if driven in an invisible hamster wheel, we spend years and decades working for others who have nothing to offer us in return except monetary compensation. We sacrifice time, health, and joy just to be a cog in the wheel, replaceable at any time and at will. This realization at the end of life is probably one of the most bitter. Number 8. Not supporting family and friends in the best possible way. Our inner circle may not have been particularly large when we look back on our lives, but loyal friends were certainly by our side, and there were plenty of family members who deserved more attention. On our deathbeds, it seems we are often struck by the realization that we could have given more to those around us than we actually did. Number 9. Neglecting the people who were important. Those who have lived their lives past their loved ones, preferring everything else instead, ultimately regret this circumstance the most. Their own children are now strangers. Their partner may have stayed by their side, but it was not a fulfilling life in community. We take many things for granted, and often disregard those who love us most and who, in turn, would also deserve our love the most. Those who then have to wait for death all alone usually know why. Today's conclusion: a lifetime is never enough. We know neither the day nor the hour of our passing, but we know for sure it will happen at some point. Unfortunately, our shyness about death also leads us to not want to use the potential for life wisdom that dying people would have to offer. Those who know that their days are numbered have a completely different perspective on what matters in life. If the failings of others can be good for anything, it would be for making sure we don't repeat their mistakes. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching. Did you find this information helpful? Do you have experience with it? We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. For more resources about mental health, self-improvement, and psychology, visit our website. You'll find the link in the video description where you can also connect with us on social media and sign up for our email list. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day.